time to recruit those specialists, launch into space, and complete those projects. It's Space Explorers. Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy, and today I'm excited to show you Space Explorers, which should be on Kickstarter right now. So if what I show you today gets you excited and you think this might be a great game for you, then go online and check out more about Space Explorers. Now, the thing that I want to start with on this game is, number one, this artwork is incredible, and I'm calling it Vintage HD or HD Vintage, whatever. The style on this is just like they totally nailed it, right? Like it looks totally vintage. It looks like something I would have seen in an old magazine or something at a museum, and it totally takes me back into this world when space exploration was fresh and exciting, and we're trying to make it to the moon and all of that kind of stuff. And they did a great job, but I call it Vintage HD because it is crisp and sharp, and it looks great, and it feels like a modern design. So all I can say is, bravo, they did a great job on the artwork and the graphic design. It looks great. But as we know, if a game just is art deep, then it's not going to be a good game. So let me tell you about the gameplay, and then you decide if this is something that's going to work for you. In Space Explorers, it's 2 to 4 people, roughly about 20 to 40 minutes. And on your turn, you can only do one of two things. You can either pick up a card from the center, or you can pay for a card, either from your hand or from the center. That's it. So on your turn, you could say, okay, I want to get this guy. That's it. You refill the card up to 6, and then the next person goes. And then on your turn, you could say, okay, I'm ready to pay for this specialist. And so you say, okay, I'm going to get this guy. Or maybe there's one from the center that you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to recruit this person here. And then they go into your tableau. Now there's a cost to recruit them. So how do you pay for that? You can do it in 3 different ways. One, if you have cards in your hand, you can discard them to pay for this cost. Each specialist has a cost on the left side of the card that tells you, okay, you need a purple, a yellow, a blue, and a red. Now you could say, I'm going to discard these cards, and this counts as 2 of those costs. So I could say, okay, I'm getting rid of my purple and my yellow. But you also have these resource tokens that you're going to be passing around the board. So I could say, okay, I'm discarding a card, and then I'm going to give you this purple and red, and you pass that to the person to your left. During the game, these resource tokens are going to be moving all around the board, being passed around, and so that's another way to pay for them. Or the other way, and it kind of reminds me of Splendor, is that once you have built, or once you have a specialist recruited to your team, they now give you a discount on the cards that you buy if you're getting that kind of specialist. So in the future, if I'm going to recruit another yellow specialist, because I have one here, starting at the bottom, I get to disregard the lowest symbol. And then if I had 2 of these and I'm trying to recruit another one, well, now I get to disregard the bottom 2. So a combination of those things. However many specialists you have that type, these tokens that you have, and maybe discarding cards out of your hand, that's how you're going to be able to pay for these specialists. And so that's it. That's all that you can do. But what creates some interesting decisions along the way are these abilities that these specialists give you. So at the bottom of most cards, there is a special ability that's listed down there. So for instance, this one here says that I have a free red and purple token every single round, and so I could use that. Maybe this one over here says that anytime I pay for a 5 or 6 specialist, then I get to pick a free card. There's all these kinds of different bonuses that are listed on all of your specialists. So when you're recruiting someone to join your team, you're thinking 2 ways. You're either thinking the victory points that are on that card, or maybe you're thinking the special ability that they're going to give you. And that gives you some interesting decisions as you play the game, because once you cover up the ability of a specialist, that one is no longer able to be used, and you only have the one that is on the very top. So you are going to struggle many times throughout the game of saying, oh, I need another red token, but I don't want to cover up that ability that my red scientist or specialist has. And so it really creates this tension as the game goes along. Once you have recruited a certain amount of specialists, you might be able to complete projects, and these give you end game points. So if you have 2 of each kind for this one, you're going to get 5 victory points. Or this one says if I have 3 green and 2 red recruited into my team, then I'm going to get 3 victory points. And so that's really all the game is. As soon as all of these have been taken, or once somebody has 12 cards, the game is over. So it plays pretty quickly, but as you go along, you're going to be struggling to make those decisions of which specialist do I recruit. And there's this tension as you go of watching who other people have recruited, and you know that they're probably going for that same project that you are. And so it's a race to get that done. Makes me feel like it's this space age race to the moon kind of thing all over again, and I really enjoyed this game. Now, there are a bunch of abilities, right? Like they have 60 different cards in the game, and there are a ton of abilities. But one thing that they did that I think was just incredible is that they numbered every single one of these cards. And so I don't have to search through this manual to try to find out, well, which symbol is that and what is that one? All I say is, okay, I recruited specialist number 45. So I look on here and it says, after putting a card, blah, 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 and I already know what my card does. And so I can look around the board, see what's available to me, even when it's not my turn, and know which cards I'm probably going to recruit. It's solid. This game is solid. It plays quick. It's so much more enjoyable to me than Splendor, because in Splendor, sure, I'm getting the discount, I'm going for these things at the end, but that's really it. This adds this whole other layer of these special abilities, and then that tension, like I said, of covering them up, and when do I want to do that, and how can I use this plus this card to get me that one that I really want. It's just really smart, and it's a lot of fun. I didn't have any hiccups in the game. I feel like it's easy to teach, and I feel like you're really going to enjoy the gameplay, especially if you like Splendor but you want it a little bit more without adding complexity. This game does that, and I really appreciate it. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Go online and check out Space Explorers and tell me what you think in the comments.